Hey, everyone. Thank you for joining tonight. It's very rare that I will do lives 2 nights in a row because of various issues running around in the background here in my apartment. But I have to say, what I just watched, the video I just watched, just made me nauseous and realize that rose-colored glasses need to come off when it comes to the protests in Iran. I have to say, despite the fact that, well, the intention that they shut down internet there for it's entering its 4th day now. And if you look like at the net blocks, you see internet and then it just drops straight down to 0 and then it continues at 0. It's entering its 4th day. And that allowed me to, live off of the old news that was coming out, the protests that we saw, the strength of the protests and the size of the protests that we saw in like the week prior to the internet being cut off. And it was impressive. And if you saw my broadcast yesterday, we I was talking about how this was the first time it looked how compared to previous protests, previous uprisings, and how it looked like this one had a little bit of a different tone and an urgency to it. And then we got the news from today. All right, well, I'm going to get into it. I'm going to even show you what I can a little bit here. But if you are just joining, my name is Nicole Jensisian, and I am based in Jerusalem. And no, guys, it's okay, but you are going, right?
Hello. We're how many? Hi, 6 people. I'm so sorry. I'm taking your keys.
They're not in there, so take other keys. Yeah, never mind the news. Okay, so anyway, so where was I? Okay, so Nicole Jensisian, I'm in Jerusalem, and there's a lot going on around me right now. But just to say that the videos are finally coming out of what's happening over there in Iran that have been leaked out through the satellite set up by Starlink. So there has been a leak of their videos are coming out, but not just that. Now we're starting to see announcements also by the regime, and it looks like things have taken an extremely deadly turn. Yesterday, the estimates were that 200 people may have been killed. 200, more than 200. Today, we're looking at numbers like 5,000. Now, of course, I have no way to verify that. I mean, I don't know who does. But if the range is somewhere between 200 to 5,000, we're talking slaughters of protesters, even if it's in the hundreds. So we still didn't have numbers. The only number that I saw thrown around about the number of protesters was when President Trump tweeted that there were, or whatever he did, not necessarily tweeted, but of a million, he put on social that there were 1 million protesters, or maybe he said it in a press conference. And I don't know if that was ever verified, if there really were 1 million. Iran is a country of 93 million people. It is very large. I am going to show you. I'm going to show you a map. I'm going to screen share here. Here, let's look on a map of Iran, so you can see where it is. In the world. You can see where I've traveled since it's my Google Maps. But let's zoom in a little bit. And I mean, it's even, you can't zoom in that much because it's such a big country. Look, here it is as far to the south and to the east and west. And then up here is Tehran. But look, it keeps going. And it borders on one side of the Caspian Sea, Central Asia, and on the other side, the Caucasus, including Azerbaijan and Armenia. And of these 93 million people of Iran, there are a lot of minority groups. There are Azeris. There's some Armenians. There's some Christians. I think there's some Kurds. Hold on, let me silence this. So there's a lot of minority groups, I think, but it's 17%, I think, is the Azeris. But so I don't know who's joined the protest, if it's like one movement of people, if it's everybody together, if, I don't really know. But it has been going on in several cities around the country, north, south, in Tehran as well. These protests were everywhere. There's one even in Bandar something or other. Wait, let me see. Down here by, oh no, I don't know. Okay. Like here, Bandar Abbas. Yeah, there was one even down there. That's like a shipping location. So they're very widespread. But unfortunately, what's happening is that the protesters are actually getting killed. It's far worse than expected. This is why they shut down the internet. I mean, as soon as the internet went down, they moved in. And that's why we were allowed to believe for a couple days that this had a chance. So it looks like, unless, as I said this yesterday, a lot of people are saying, unless there is foreign intervention, there's no hope. There's no hope for the protests to actually overthrow the regime. So Iran itself, the regime itself, has said that there is foreign intervention. They say that the Mossad, the Israeli Mossad, has agents, and there are other terror groups that are inciting the protests. So, a lot of the people then will be arrested and charged with collaborating. Thousands have been arrested, by the way. I also saw that they took over hospitals, that the forces, the regime forces, have finally taken control of hospitals, so that anybody who comes in with a what do you call it, with a bullet wound, they immediately arrest them without having any medical intervention. Again, these are reports that I'm getting. Now, I'm getting information second and third hand, so I cannot necessarily say that what's true. This is somewhat verified from trustworthy sources, but it is not. I am not personally verifying this, so I'm going by other people. You guys are coming up with a lot of comments and questions faster than I can even talk. Yep, Sharon says this sounded so good at first, but okay. Emily asks, is any government talking to each other about Iran, US, or Israel, along with with the Emirates? Here reports that they want the US and Israel to step in. Of course, the Iranian people are literally pleading. They're putting up signs, Trump, save us. They're changing street names to Trump Street. And they are putting out personal appeals. I watched many videos of Iranians saying, like, come and save us, come and save us. Now, Trump, right after I got off my broadcast yesterday, I broadcast 2 minutes later, Trump convenes something. He's in a session. He comes out, and they said that they were deciding that they will attack Iran. So will the U.S. attack? And here there was another question here, if the U.S. will intervene. Okay, great question. Trump has been talking a lot and saying, like, no, that you better not kill the protesters. You better not let this turn violent. We will attack you. And then yesterday gets like this judgment to that's not the word. I read the headline in Hebrew, so I'm like, they make this decision to be ready to attack. And so actually, like, going to bed last night was a little bit difficult because what's the first thing with all the political posturing? U.S. is going to attack Iran. What is Iran going to do? Going to attack what's near it, which is American bases in nearby countries and Israel. So I was actually wondering if we should start packing for the bomb shelter. Now, why pack? Because it's cold. It's not like in the summer when we could run down barefoot. Now it's like we need shoes and coats, So anyway, do I think it's going to come to that? I really do not know. Do I think it's going to come to an actual, like, Israel's getting bombed because of Iran? I don't know. That is less of a possibility. But will any foreign country intervene in Iran? This is what a lot of you were asking here. And you know what? I am sorry to say, but I don't think so. I actually don't think they're going to. I don't know how this ends. Nobody is putting a stop. I'm watching it now. Do you hear the shooting? This is from the Israeli news. About like the protesters getting shot. So they are out there. I see Jacob Persley. Jacob, thank you for being here. And also, I said yesterday, I meant to mention your name and also Marzieh, that you guys should also follow Jacob Persley, follow Marzieh Amirzadeh. She is Iranian. She was actually sentenced to death in Iran for distributing Bibles after she converted from Islam to Christianity. She miraculously was able to get out of Iran. She got off of death row, and then they got her out of the country. So anyway, they have some great insights that I don't have. Like, for instance, Jacob is in touch with a lot of Iranians that cross the border to where he lives. So they are telling story. Let's see what he says. All we are getting is from our friends there in Iran. We pray for many Iranians today that cannot hear from their family members. Trump is expected to help, but are we going to leave the 93 million people just waiting and dying in the streets? Because I'm going to show you a video of that. I don't know how much you can handle. I don't know how much I can show without being like taken off the internet. But it's bad. It's not graphic, but you know what? I'm just going to show it to you guys. I'm going to show you parts of it. It's a tough one. And this is what made me want to do this video tonight, to go live, because I want to show you. Here it is. Is this it? This is it. This is it. This really just made me sick to my stomach. This is not where the video started for me. It started in the hospital, where people were looking at just pictures on a computer screen. But here, relatives had to go and open body bags to identify their loved ones, to see if they were killed, the missing loved ones. Let's go see. Let's go through 1,000 body bags, or however many there were, right here. And I don't remember where this was, this particular video, but you just hear the grief of people finding their loved ones. You see how different people deal with grief. Some people break down in tears. Some are just pacing. Some are laying there with the body. But look at this. They are just going around searching. You see how some people respond when they get the news, and others. I mean, and this just Made me nauseous. Oh, do you guys not see it? Why? Why is it not working? Wait, did you guys see it? Mary Christie, did you see it? Oh my gosh. So maybe the, let's see. Wow, you're not seeing it for some reason. And some of you are on YouTube. I wonder if it's, can you hear it? Oh man. Oh man. All right, let me stop sharing this. It says I'm sharing it, but apparently I'm not. Wow, what do I do? Guys, trying to think of how to get this to you. Well, I could actually just go to the, I could just send it to you. But all right, in the meantime, I'm going to try to find it and maybe just put it in the chat so you guys can look at it. This was just like outside a hospital, people were just searching through black body bags looking for their loved ones. And it's just, you don't, it's not like gory, that you see anything. You know what? I wonder if it's been removed from the internet since no, this is it. It's been labeled as graphic, so there's a chance that you can see it. Try again. It's not my phone, Mary. I'm trying to share it from my screen. All right, I'm trying this. See it now, right?
Oh, God, God.
I assume you guys are listening. I don't know if you're hearing it. It's been labeled graphic content, so that could be the reason that I was unable to show it decisively before. So in any case, I will not show the whole thing. You can probably just run over to the platform formerly known as Twitter and find it because it's all over. But I don't want to get canceled by that just yet. Anyway, so yeah, it is absolutely heart wrenching. It is like, actually, even to hear them, even more than seeing what was happening, really gets to you. Like it really gets in you. And this is slaughter on a mass scale right now, what appears to be. And I don't know what's happening if the protests are continuing. I do know that the Iranian news service has put out its own news, which of course is regime news, that they are calling for protests tomorrow in favor of the regime. And so they encourage everybody to go and to join those protests. So that's going to be a way to really break down, first of all, to show the world, look, you see, this is what's happening. Everything's good. And also in the meantime, probably to also just frustrate the other protests. I just see that Jacob, who does have contacts in Iran, says that protests are continuing. Okay, that's good to know because we're not getting as much of that. We're getting, unfortunately, the bad news now, at least in the channels that where I get my information sourced. But some of the tactics I have been able to see of the videos that have snuck out of, since the regime started cracking down on the protesters. So in some of these videos, you can see um, that the armed forces come in on motorcycles and they just go through the crowd. Now, while they're going through the crowd, what are they doing? They're causing terror, they're causing confusion, fear, panic. Now they're also separating people. So of course, if you isolate people, like when you're in a crowd of 1,000 or several thousand, you feel more confident. You feel the surge of humanity with you. But when you are isolated, you start to be concerned. So they're isolating people, they're like pushing them to the side, and then they're arresting them as well. Or as they're going through on their motorcycle, they're just shooting. So these are some of the things that are happening against the protesters. Apparently, the protesters are still protesting, according to sources on the ground. But it's going to take one of two things: outside intervention or supernatural intervention, or an uprising of 93 million people and not just 1 million against the forces, because eventually the sheer numbers could turn them over. I mean, I don't think we have to talk about why people are protesting. And I think it's way more than the stated economic crisis, because Iran's been suffering economically since the most recent, round surges of protests, which began with Masa Amini when she was killed uh, while in morality police custody, arrested for having her hijab askew, and then beaten while in custody, and died. And so protests started then, and I'm sure there were ones before that. But with those protests, there was each time there was more of an uprising and more of an uprising. And this one appears to be different. It appears to, the people appear to have snapped. There is no fear. It's not just about, taking off the hijab in defiance. The hijab's off. If you see pictures from Iran these days, even before these protests, there's a lot of pictures coming out with the hijab isn't on. Everywhere as much as it was. So that part, has broken through. But this is a kind of defiance that looks like that we're not scared anymore. There is a sense of fearlessness in these protests. I hope that's right. I'm not there. This is the feeling I'm getting from watching it, from reading about it. And I don't know the geopolitics of what's going to happen here. The geopolitics, for instance, wait, like what's happening here? What's the army doing? Attacking Lebanon. Israeli armies attacking Lebanon. But I digress. The politics here that are involved in whether or not to support the people of Iran in this quest. First of all, let's ask: do we even know? Is this all of Iran, or is this? Maybe Jacob, you could throw out some numbers. Does anybody know what are the numbers here? Is not in terms of how many people are protesting, but has there ever been a poll done? People want to overthrow the regime. Do they want democracy and freedom? I believe many of them do. Are there some elements looking for a more Islamic nation? I don't know how you could get there, or a different religion, not Shia. I don't know. So I don't know if are these the things that are holding back? Israel had no problem going to war with Iran, bombing the missile sites, bombing their launchers and their nuclear sites, and the Revolutionary Guard sites. They did it. They did that. So And then America had no problem saying, "Oh, we'll come in and finish the job." They didn't finish the job. Clearly, everybody knows that now. They didn't get all the uranium. They didn't put the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, out of business. They're still going. They're still. They did something, but then that was it. So why stop? The question is, why stop? And why not now when the people are propelling it? So I don't know what the political and diplomatic considerations are that go into that. Okay, Jacob, just to get back to the numbers, you also don't know the numbers. It's anecdotal. I agree, and you would assume, but I don't want to assume with the Western mindset, like, yeah, everybody wants freedom. I'm sure 90% of the protesters, 100% of the protesters probably do, but I don't know what's the rest of the country thinking. Amy mentioned, yeah, Times of Israel said 10K arrested. Is that a larger number than previously? I think if the case is 10,000 already in the first couple days, yeah, probably. I think that is big. I'm trying to think. I don't remember the numbers. I wrote about them back then, but I think it was like maybe 3,000 or 5,000. I think. All right. So don't quote me on numbers, but yeah, it feels like higher and also at a faster pace. Okay. So that's that. And also so obviously Trump and Netanyahu are always talking about, who's going to do what and when, or if nobody's going to do anything. But like I said, back in June, they went at it for 12 days and the regime was not changed at the time. And I think people were hoping at the time there were Iranians there that were actually, saying like, finish the job, do us a favor. But that did not happen then. And so either they're taking matters into their own hands, but I guess they are hopeful that America or Israel will help them finish the job. So I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily get my hopes up. I wouldn't necessarily, pack a to-go bag here or there necessarily. And by the way, if Amy, as you were saying, 10K arrested, do you know the estimates for the death toll is between 200 plus to 5,000. So usually there's more arrests than deaths, at least right away. And then eventually I don't want to say they even out, but many more people, those who are arrested, many of them are executed in the end. So the 10K tracks with the potential number of deaths for sure. And Jeanette, hi Jeanette. Yeah, I mean, are we on edge for another situation? Yes and no, only in the sense that I'm just watching the news all the time. And I think none of us want to be caught like we were in June with a 3:30 in the morning alarm blaring to run to the shelter and not knowing where it was coming from, and to find out the entire country was alerted that, hey guys, we just attacked over there, but we want you to know about it. So wake up at 3:30 and run to your bomb shelter, because that is precisely what Israel did to its 10 million people. Wake up, because misery loves company, and the Air Force is flying all through the night to bomb Iranian targets. And we just wanted to let you know, it couldn't wait another 3 hours to a more reasonable 6:30 in the morning, even 6, whatever. No, wake up and have an entire sleep deprived, stressed out, anxious PTSD nation. Makes sense, right? That's what they did. So I think that is what puts us on edge more than anything, is the uncertainty. And anyway, I don't even, who knows? Like I was thinking about so many things. Like also a lot of what we hear in the news, a lot of it's leaked to specific reporters in order to throw, they're getting this message out to throw people off. to throw you off the scent of that there might be an attack, or to throw, is it to throw Iran off the scent? I'm sure. And they're all operating with their intelligence organizations, which have probably better information than the media is giving us. So who knows in the end? So I take with a grain of salt a lot of the messages that are postured by politicians, be it Americans or Israelis or the opposition or the government itself. So, okay, so Mary's asking, did the Russian embassy empty its staff? I think I may have heard that. Is it true? Is a good question. I would say probably. I think Australia also told all its citizens to get out. And I think a dozen airlines have canceled flights to Iran. Now, why are they canceling flights? Just because of the protests? Or is it because they are fearing? See, it's more things like that. And also, do you guys know about the Papa John's, the pizza meter? There's a Papa John's pizzeria in, I think in Virginia. It's like near, is it CIA or the Department of Defense, whatever. And orders go up, and at a certain price, somebody tracks the orders. When the orders rise, it always correlates with a strike, with an American strike somewhere. So somebody told me today that the Papa John meter went up. I didn't know that, and I didn't check it. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. I have incoming here, actually, without any alert whatsoever, but the kids are in. The Pentagon pizza orders. Thanks. Sure. How much did you look? I give them my card to go get dinner, and look at this. God knows what. God knows. Can I have a sip at least?
Okay, so we got drink, Lucas a drink, and me a drink.
That's great.
It was not at Super Deal, by the way.
No, of course not. Super Deal's closed. It's late here.
Catch Mom.
We went to
No. Tell me later. We're in the midst of war.
gas station, by the way.
You guys think there's going to be a war?
No.
Oh, is this grape? Take it back. That's vile. I thought it was Snapple. I thought I see Snapple. Here, I got another one. All right. This is about Venezuela. Putting on the table to get proportions. The U.S. in operation to bring Maduro has mobilized abnormal forces against Venezuela with a combination of naval and air forces. The U.S. deployed a combined task force in the Caribbean and Pacific. And then he lists all of the aircraft and okay. If anyone thinks that Iran is Venezuela. Oh, hi, Annalie. Annalie says hi. Where are you going?
She left.
Oh, she left. Oh, bye, Rita. Annalie says hi to you, Raya.
Hi.
She says hi back. All right. Putting in proportion. Venezuela was accessible for the U.S. by 2 seas, right? Iran is not accessible. So basically what he's saying, all right, more than 150 aircraft, including F-35 stealth aircraft deployed in Puerto Rico, 12 warships, 6 destroyers with guided missiles. He's like, do the math. Iran, look at the map. I showed you the map, right? Nowhere near. Very difficult to get to. So there would already have to be American troops on the ground if there was going to be intervention. Now, maybe there are, or maybe they're relying on Israel to do it because Israel did it before and Israel can just fly a couple hours over there and do it. So I do not know the answer to that. And I know this sounds like a cop-out, but the truth is I want an answer to that because I want to know whether or not to pack at least the bomb shelter bag. Okay. We won't need a bomb shelter for Iran just yet, but just another topic that I didn't get to yet is that Israel has attacked targets in Lebanon, Hezbollah targets in Lebanon at least 3 times today. Most recently, as I was speaking, there was a message that came in that said that they did it again. So there is a lot brewing over there. It's something I probably would have talked about more had this, Iran not taken all the attention. Not that it's as imminent, but it's imminent because Israel has long expressed impatience with the disarming of Hezbollah. And if they don't, look, the kids are trying to get, kids are trying to get in the video somehow.
I did a walking handstand 16 steps.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So, okay, so that would have been what I talk about because Israel's impatience with Hezbollah disarming. Hezbollah is not disarming, according to them. Lebanese army tasked by the Lebanese government with disarming Hezbollah, not happening. And so there's going to be a showdown in Lebanon somehow or another, whether it's between the Lebanese army and Hezbollah, whether it's between Israel and Hezbollah. And even it looks like diplomatic America is losing its patience. There was, I don't necessarily want to talk about these kind of things here, but the envoy, Morgan Ortagus, I really liked her, man. She really laid it down with the Lebanese, man. She was very, very forceful, very straightforward, but she's involved in a little bit of a scandal now. So I don't know if she's going to be back, which means we're stuck with Tom Barak, who is the other envoy who loves Turks, who loves the Turks and defends Turkey at anything. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. I kind of, that's kind of like why I preferred Morgan. Greg Martirosyan. Oh, he says that Mossad is on the ground causing chaos, as the Israeli government has confirmed there are people on the ground. Where? I did not see that. In fact, what I saw were denials. And so Greg is saying that Israel is once again putting Iranian lives in danger. The US, UK, and Israel need to stop destroying the planet, leave the Iranian people alone. All right, but Greg, don't the Iranian people want help? Aren't they asking for help to change the regime? And they're asking Trump, actually, specifically. They were begging Netanyahu during the war to finish the job. So I don't know. Looks like they want him. So I don't know. Anyway, all right. Hezbollah, guess what? Up until now, I have no unread chats. I don't mean your chat. I mean chats. I mean like all the millions of groups and news and stuff like that. So, so that's a good sign. So I can stop on that. Syria. Oh yeah. Alleged ceasefire between the Kurds and the Syrian forces, except that many Kurds have been rounded up. And I've saw videos of that too. Don't know what their fate is. But the government in Syria that is somehow lauded and accepted by the West is still going strong and not stopped by Tom Barak and others. So anyway, on that downer, I'll just leave it because I'm sure there'll be more tomorrow. The news doesn't like to take a break. So hopefully I get my voice back and then I'll be able to do this with more gusto. Anyway, thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you for all of your comments and interaction. Nicole, tell the Mossad to leave the Iranian people. I'll go tell them. They're probably watching this right now. No, they're not watching this right now. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. This has been invigorating. I don't want to say fun, but it's definitely been a great conversation. So thank you. And I will